High above the city stood a beautiful statue called the Happy Prince. The statue was covered with gold, and it had sapphire eyes and a red ruby on its sword. People admired him, but they did not know that he could now see the city's suffering. The prince explained that when he was alive, he lived happily in a palace and knew nothing about sadness. After his death, he was placed high above the city, where he could see poverty, loneliness, and pain. One cold night, a little swallow stopped at the prince's feet while traveling south. The swallow wanted to continue to Egypt, but the prince asked him to stay for one night. The prince saw a poor seamstress whose sick child was crying because he needed oranges. He asked the swallow to take the ruby from his sword and give it to the mother. The swallow delivered the ruby, and the child became calm and slept. The next night, the prince asked the swallow to help a hungry young writer who was too cold to work. The prince gave one of his sapphire eyes to the writer so he could buy food, firewood, and finish his play. The swallow wanted to leave for Egypt, but he stayed because he loved the prince. The prince then saw a little match girl whose matches had fallen into the water. He gave her his other sapphire eye, and she ran home happily with the precious stone. Now the prince was blind, so the swallow promised to stay with him always. The swallow flew over the city and saw rich people celebrating, while hungry children suffered in the cold. The prince told him to remove the gold from the statue and give it to the poor. The swallow carried the gold to the people, and the children received bread and began to smile. Winter became stronger, and the swallow grew colder, but he refused to leave his friend. At last, the swallow knew he was dying, and he kissed the prince before falling dead at his feet. The prince's lead heart broke because he had lost his beloved friend. The mayor saw the old statue and called it ugly because it was no longer covered with gold. The officials pulled it down and melted it, but the broken heart would not melt. They threw the heart onto a dust heap beside the dead swallow. God asked an angel to bring the two most precious things in the city. The angel brought the prince's broken heart and the dead swallow. God said they were the most precious because they had chosen love and kindness over beauty and comfort. Deep lesson. True beauty is not what people see. It is the kindness we give when nobody is watching.